What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Circle of Knowledge podcast. It is the new year 2022. This is the first episode of the same season. We're going to just keep on going. That was such a fun one. And this is our opportunity to share with you a amazing message from the Circle of Knowledge podcast. Joining us today is one of the members of the executive team of the Champion Circle, the one, the only, the none other than Miss Robin Scott. And actually, you guys probably know this if you're active listeners and followers of this, but Robin has more episodes on this show than anyone else of our guest speakers. But today is a special day, Robin. I guess the entire executive team has asked that they flipped the tables on me. And today, Robin is going to be interviewing me, which is awesome. I have never been interviewed on my own podcast. But before we do that, let's talk about Robin for a second. Robin, how are you today? And are you excited to be back on the Circle of Knowledge podcast again?
I really am. But anytime that I get to share space with you and talk with you, I'll totally take the opportunity every chance I get.
Oh,
but I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing great. This has been awesome. I'm really looking forward to a new year. I'm really looking forward to just everything that we've been working on. And I literally just say thank you for all the great stuff that we've been able to accomplish over the last while. Amidst pandemic, we've still been hosting networking opportunities. It's been great, but I have a heart full of gratitude. But for those of you guys who don't know, Robin Scott is a #1 best-selling author. I think now 4 or 5 times. She's amazing. 5 or 6 times, something like that. She's awesome. And 5, cool. All right, that's awesome. And she is a motivational speaker herself. She is a coach. She specializes in helping people achieve their goals and overcome their getting unstuck. And she has had wild success in experiencing the accomplishments of taking people from point A to point Z in their journeys. She's an amazing human being, and she's one of our executive members of the Champion Circle team. And today we are just going to have a great conversation and great topic of talk. Yeah, I know. See how I'm stumbling.
The great topic of you, my friend.
It's so funny because we talk about me all the time, but yeah, not in this context. So this will be fun. I really am excited. The reason why is, we talk about this podcast a lot. We talk about what happens on this podcast, how it came to fruition. But I think we're going to dive in a little bit deeper, which is kind of cool. Just want to say hi to a few people. We got a few people watching live, which is awesome. Hey, what's up, Tristan? Great speaker as well. Also featured on the podcast. I think he's got his own episode. Also, he has he's featured on the Amazon Prime TV show Speak Up, which is awesome. Thanks for watching, you guys. And for some reason, we had technical difficulties, so this is not currently streaming to Facebook, but it is to one of our Facebook groups, one of our LinkedIn channels, which is where Tristan found us, and we're on YouTube right now. Everything else, we'll load it up later.
Yep, we can do that.
But this is awesome, Robin. I'll let you kick it off, but I'm just totally leading in, but I want to. But I want to hear from you first. I want to hear from you. Tell us about where we're at. What are we doing? This is awesome, and I'll mess around with the controls back here.
This year, the intentions, the things that we're going to accomplish this year are so spectacular that I just get excited thinking about all the things. And with that said, I am going to make sure we keep most of the attention on you. Our team really did want to hear you talk about you. And you're not very good at that part, and that's okay.
Wait,
But I'm
wait,
going
wait,
to keep
wait,
it
wait, wait,
steered
wait.
your direction.
Wait, let's say that again. I'm not really good at what? Come on, come on, come on, come on.
You are awesome, sir.
Say,
You are always
okay, there we go.
so good at what you do. You're just humble. Like, I think you're just a modest person. Like, you don't just toot your horn all the time. And it's time to toot that horn. That's actually my mantra for this year, is it's time to toot our own horns. Get out there and shine. And so this is what they wanted, and so this is what we're giving them.
I love that. I love that.
Does everyone, I mean, they probably know about Champion Circle, but what do we do there, Jon? Like, why is this different than any other networking group?
Yeah, that is a good question. The difference between any other networking group and a group like Champion Circle is any other networking group continues to thrive off the foundations of what professionalism in the 70s, 80s, and 90s was deemed as appropriate. We're still following some pretty archaic ways of communicating. We're still following some pretty archaic ways of building relationships from a professional point of view. But the way that Champion Circle is moving the needle is that the old way of networking could be dead. And I believe it is, because yeah, you might get some transactions out of it. You may get business. You may build great networks. But the new way of building relationships is through what I call the caveman theory. And the caveman theory is as simple as, look, let's date back to the caveman ages. When you are a caveman, every single day, every single minute is life or death. Every decision is very, very important. And because of that, you've got to rely on your instincts. And some of your greatest humanity and human instincts are your ability to discern and to trust one another. And so the caveman theory goes as this: if you were to bring somebody back to the cave with you, do you trust them? Is this person a liability? Are they going to create some sort of, I don't know, habit or even an environment, or are they going to attract predators, or are they going to do something to harm us? And the way you decide is whether you trust this person or not. Well, Champion Circle eliminates the stage of having to decide whether you can trust this person or not. We work with members all over the board, CEOs to presidents of company, all the way down to the brand new entrepreneurs. But wherever they're at in the spectrum, they're usually small business owners who have been vetted, who are trusted. I mean, the number one aspect of a mastermind is knowing who is in the room so that you can be another qualified individual in that room. And what we do is we work with individuals who fit within that room, eliminating the trust question so that the trust factor can quickly lead to how much fun and how exciting and how quickly we can connect. Because if you already break down your doors, break down the walls, and that from having to know if this person is trustworthy or not, you can then quickly build relationships that lead to prosperity, to profits, to anything else. And so that's the caveman theory and what we do. We sit in the middle between, your typical small business groups that get together for breakfast or for lunch, or, your a little bit more expensive Vistage groups and so forth, where we sit right in the middle. But the one thing that makes us completely different than anyone else is that we harness the ability to use mastermind methodologies taught in Think and Grow Rich. And we also measure our successes as athletes would, training for the Olympics, or as professionals would to accomplish their key performance indicators. We measure our stuff through accountability, and that's what makes us different. We do this in a way that motivates and inspires and increases the achievements, but accelerates the successes in every individual who's a part of our community. So there's the long answer.
That is perfect. I agree with every single thing you said, and I think there's a feeling there that's absolutely different and unique as well. And so I love that part that we bring to that, the champion circle. I was wondering if you wanted to go into refining misfits.
Sure. Let's do it.
So we
Let's talk
could
about
do,
it. Sounds
okay,
great.
because this is my favorite part. So tell us, what the heck is misfits with the dots in between?
Awesome. With the dots in between. That's code for John. This is an acronym. I love it.
The
I'm
acronym.
also behind the scenes here trying to throw in something really cool. Give me a second.
Nice.
And here it comes. I'm thinking this will work.
Now.
Come on, baby. Let's try this. Let's see if this worked.
Oh, do you have our creed?
I didn't have it on hand, but I'm changing our
Okay.
background. There we go.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I like it.
the fall leaves were confusing me because I live in Midway and there are no more leaves on the trees. So I wanted to throw that up there. For those of you for those of you listening to the podcast, you're probably like, what is going on over there? You guys, if you listen to the podcast, first of all, thank you. But if you haven't had a chance to watch one of our YouTube videos, follow us on Facebook or LinkedIn Live, man, you miss out on some of the interactions. But don't worry, don't feel like you're missing out on anything. The podcast volumes of awesome comes through in our content. But if you do want to see our faces and really get a kick out of it, there's some good stuff. All right, so you're asking me about the misfit. Well, let's first of all define a misfit, okay? Before we go into that acronym, there's this term called misfits, and most people think that that's a negative term. I think misfit's just a person who's misunderstood. I think someone they're just different, right? And a misfit is somebody who literally stands out because, they don't fit the mold. They're
And
just,
that's what I love about misfit.
yeah.
Like, you're missing fitting in the box. Misfit. Don't stick us in a box.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in a dang box.
I don't want to be in a dang box. Misfits are typically the people who struggled in high school, struggled in college, because you were crammed into this rat race of organizational systems. And, that's just not our style. You will actually come to find that a lot of true entrepreneurs, not self-proclaimed entrepreneurs, but true entrepreneurs are misfits. They're different. They're willing to go out on silos to accomplish things, to get things done, to figure it out, to learn. They take the world by storm. Think of a misfit as typically your middle child, that person you should fear at all times, but you tend to forget about. No, I'm just kidding. It really is. A misfit is somebody who is different. My favorite way to describe it, though it's misunderstood in this context, is there's a movie called Fantastic Mr. Fox. George Clooney's in it, if you remember this movie. And Fantastic Mr. Fox, he's just describing his son who thinks differently. He's kind of like artistic. He's got a very keen eye for art. And as he's describing his son, he can't really find words to describe him. So he uses his hands, and he puts his hands up next to his head, and he wiggles his hands, and he goes, he's just different. And that's my favorite description of it, because we truly are. We're different. I actually did find the slides. I'm going to pull it up here.
One thing that I've noticed ever since you created this acronym is, it doesn't matter where I am. I could be at one of the kids' schools. I could be at a summit. I could be at a conference, just talking with people. And so many of these, part of the acronym of misfits, fits so well. And that makes me kind of feel like it's a universal truth. You can take it on or you don't have to, but man, I'm a stinking misfit and I am so proud of that fact. So let's get into what it is.
Good. Okay. I'm pulling it up here, playing around it's been a while since we've been back on StreamYard, which is awesome, but here we go. Let me see if I can open this up. Lots of technical distractions today, but it is awesome. All right, I'm going to share my screen. That's cool. I didn't know I could share slides. That's neat.
Ooh, that is cool.
All right. Boom, baby. Here it is. And don't mind the hundreds of tabs here. All right.
We won't look at the tabs.
You and I are on the right here. But without looking at the tabs, check this out. And apparently there is some downloaded music showing. There we go. Check this out. Okay. So I'm sitting there at a conference and I'm thinking about like, how do I describe who we are? How do I describe our ideal client, our ideal community member, the types of people that we work with and the type of people that we resonate with? Because this is really interesting. Robin and I are very outgoing, type A, friendly, bubbly personality type people. And you know what is interesting about that is we don't always attract nor do we always hang out with type A, bubbly, really, really exciting people. We often find ourselves in the room with really intelligent, really smart, cunning individuals who have the ability to, create a rocket ship and send it to space. Like these are the kinds of people that we're like, wow, we didn't realize this, but we really have that connection. And we started digging into it. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to push this and I'm going to try to turn misfits into an acronym. And I started thinking about it. I was like, all right, the first M. Well, first of all, you've got to be motivated. Like nobody wants to date that individual who's just like completely unmotivated in life. Like, oh, cool. What are you studying in school? Oh, I don't know. I'll just do business. What do you want to do when you grow up? Oh, I don't know. Work. These people need to be motivated. They have aspirations bigger than themselves. And that's one thing I really love. And you can tell within the first second of meeting someone if they're motivated.
Yeah.
By the way they are interested in you, by the way they treat others, by the way they show up. That's the type of person who is motivated. The type of person who shows up to a networking meeting in jeans and a t-shirt is not a motivated individual. And I'm sorry to say that if that's your style, there are better styles in a networking environment. Just hear me out, right? All right, thinking about the I, I'm like, what can we do with an I? And I started
we've
thinking
actually changed this one.
We did, yeah, we did. And now that I'm looking at it, I don't remember the.
It was intuitive leaders, which we
right,
are,
right.
But this fits so much better.
Yeah, and intuitive is one of my favorite words because it requires outward thinking. Okay, you can't put outward thinkers in a box. You've got to let them shine in an open environment. And so, intuitive leaders was the original, so that we could take action where we needed to, based on the environment. But it was actually Robin who was like, well, then we're not really just intuitive leaders. We're just intuitive action takers, because sometimes leaders, people think, oh, well, I have to have a position or a title for that. And that gets confusing. So this was a change we made recently in this, but intuitive action takers is exactly the type of people we are. And you're probably sitting there at home thinking, yeah, that's me. Like, I just know when to pick up the phone and start making work happen, and these are that type of people.
Well, and so many people, so many people think about it and they want this, they want that, but none of it is going to happen if they don't move, if they don't take that action. And we've seen that a lot, and yes, this one it feels so good.
So we got motivated in life, intuitive action takers. The S in Misfit stands for skilled professionals. This is where, we were just talking about vetting our community and making it a trusting environment. Like, we literally don't bring people in who don't have an idea of what they want to do. First of all, they got to be motivated. Second, they got to be focused. Like, they got to use their skills, their passions, their God-given talents, right? And that's a huge piece for me. Very, very important. It's absolutely awesome. I'm looking at the chat section. I'm seeing some very interesting things here. Super cool. All good. Don't worry about it. Whenever you stream to YouTube, you always get some interesting people jumping into live. So from all over the world. But motivated in life, intuitive action takers, skilled professionals is the S. Let's move to the F. This one I thought most about because, we've got several acronyms that we run with, and F needs to be a pretty powerful word given our society today. When you use an F word, the F word stands out, right? And on this show, we don't swear because we're a clean podcast, and we've been maintaining that status. However, the F word today is fed up. Okay, you've got to be fed up with mediocrity. Okay, when you read my favorite book, okay, Think and Grow Rich, right there at the top, it says, for men and women who resent poverty. For men and women who resent poverty. Okay, you've just got to be fed up with mediocrity. And that includes every status of life that doesn't include the prosperous thinking and the abundance mindset.
Love that one.
And then moving on, we got another I, which was even better because now I could use my other favorite I word, which is inquisitive. And the inquisitive part of a misfit is somebody who seeks light and truth, knowledge. They're looking for answers. They're looking for solutions. These people you don't mess with, because these are the people who literally part seas and make waves in their life and in the lives of people around them. So inquisitive truth seekers, people who are earnestly seeking. And then the T stands for tenacious. And Robin, interject at any time if you have additions. But tenacious is just one of my favorite words. It's just that definition of somebody who's resilient. And since there wasn't an R in Misfits, this was my favorite alternative. So tenacious is just a great way to describe these people. And then last but not least, the S in Misfits, because there's many of us, not just one. And Misfits include those who are willing to sacrifice complacency for success. Not only are they fed up, but they're willing to sacrifice. And that is the acronym of our Misfit theme, our brand, who we are and who we attract. And so when you ask, who's your ideal market? We always answer, we attract misfits. And we work with misfits. But again, in all seriousness, this is a very, very personal conversation for us, because these are the people who come into our circles. These are the people who walk in to the doors and they fill our rooms. And these people are amazing. And you probably have experienced going to a networking group or a room or some sort of conference, and the most of the people there are type A personalities, people who are, either calling the shots or not calling the shots. And then, you get together and it's probably a lot more painful to go through the process because everyone is on such a high level of transactional thinking that you've got to consider working with those people who are not just on the transactional level, but who are thinking more openly, who are evaluating their conversations and their relationships. And these people are dangerous, but these people will take it to the next level. And these are the people you want to hang out with, because ultimately they're the ones that have the most fun. Look, high school was high school, but the nerds have way more fun than everyone else. Okay. They're in the back. They're in the shops. They're building things. They're launching rockets. They're firing, off chemicals and stuff like that. Nerds had the most fun, and that's who we are. So that's a bit of a description. I'd love to hear more about it from you, though.
I think that when I looked it up in the dictionary, it said freak, outcast, loner, loser, all these words. And I'm like, dang, But then I thought about the acronym and I'm like, I don't want to fit in. None of us do, right? Like, why, sorry, lost the word, blend in when you were born to stand out. We love that one too. That's a saying we say a
I
lot.
love that.
When we were, I just have to tell this story quick. When we were doing the acronym and the periods in between, we were wondering if we should spell it that way, because when people came to it, what are they going to think? Are they going to think geek, freak, loser? Or
Right.
will they, right? Remember, we were like, can we use this? And then we thought our person would look deeper. They'd look at
Right.
those, the periods and go, what the heck does that mean? And those are our people. So it's actually like one of the greatest, what do you call that? Like the warm pool that we get to pull from. Because if they're, if they don't like the word misfit, if it just really offends them, maybe they're not our person, which is fun. Okay, you were talking about relationships, and you have the pyramid, or is it a pyramid? The friendships, the different connections, right? You've got the transactional, and then you've got I can't remember the middle one, but the perpetual is the one you want to get to. Have you talked about this here yet? Because I really do love that notion of yours too, and it's something I've really taken on and used in my life.
Yeah, and we're talking about the value system of relationships, and I always draw or have a diagram near me, but I usually draw a triangle that stands upright. And for those of you watching the live feed, you'll see this. For those of you listening, I will describe it. If you draw a triangle sitting on its regular side, okay, and you divide that triangle into three groups, kind of like the food pyramid. That's why I called it the pyramid. And the food pyramid, you divide it into three groups. There's a base, there's a middle, and then there's a top. And if you think about it as the base, the meat, and the cake on top, or the cherry on top, that'll help you understand it a little bit better. But everyone, I mean, this is what social media is all about, is free marketing, free advertising. Everyone lives on a transactional level. People only think about me. My favorite character in the Muppets is Beaker, because he only says one thing, me. And Beaker, I mean, we don't want to be Beaker. We want to be able to say and be other than ourselves, me, right? Be with other people other than ourselves. So that's a transactional level of thinking. And to answer your question, Robin, we have brought it up a few times, but it's a new year. It's a new version of the podcast. It's a new chapter in everyone's lives. So we should repeat as often as we can. So thank you for doing that. Most people, I mean, 99% of the population live at this level, which is the transactional level. That is, I have a product, you have money. Why don't you buy my product? I have a service. You have money and a need for my service. You buy my service. That's where the relationship stops. Okay. You finish with the transaction, bada bing, bada boom. And, sometimes that's all we want. I go to the grocery store. I don't want to necessarily have a relationship with the person putting my groceries in my bags. I literally just want to get in, get out, especially nowadays, because we're all wearing masks. I just want in and out. I don't want anything else. But on a more friendlier and a more important level is building the relationships with the people around you. So what we need to do is you need to think at a higher level. The next level up, which is the meat and potatoes of this sandwich, right? Or this meal, is reciprocal level of thinking. And this is a great place to start your foundation. This is a great place to start thinking, how do I help other people so that I can be helped as well? When the second you turn your mindset off from thinking, all right, I've got to sell my product, and transition to the, how do I help others so that they can help me? That's a better way of thinking. Doesn't that just feel better? Like all of a sudden the grime, sweat, and grossness of transactionalness is gone, because the desperation's gone, the stress behind sales is gone, everything that you stress out about or the negatives about relationships is gone when you don't think at a transactional level. Rather, you think on a reciprocal level. But the true cherry on top, the icing on the cake, is that when you can start to think at that level, you start thinking at a higher level, and that level is at a perpetual level. Whereas rather than thinking, I scratch your back, you scratch mine, let's make this a great partnership, you give without any inclination or any further thought about whether you'll receive or not, because you trust and you know that perpetuating the system of great relationships, kindness, and trust is the type of person who you are attracting, becoming, and developing. And that's the way we believe it. Those are the foundations of relationships. And I have to shout out, because this is not my original content. A huge shout out to one of our mentors, friends, and colleagues, Mr. Levi McPherson, who actually demonstrated this diagram for us, who taught us a lot of it. Until still to this day, I still thrive off of that thought that we need to be perpetualists rather than transactionalists. And if you have a hard time bridging those gaps, start with building relationships that are win-win relationships, reciprocal, that you can give and take as a result of your agreements. Quickly, I just want to go back, and I actually have, this is one of my gifts from Christmas this year. It's the Webster's New Dictionary and Thesaurus. So each page has, the page is half and half, right? There are the definitions on top, and then the thesaurus on bottom.
Okay, I love thesauruses are my friend. I love them so much.
They're the best. They're the best. Okay, misfit in the new Webster's Dictionary. This is up to date. This is 2020, right? 2020 and on, and I love this. So a misfit is a maladjusted person. Okay, you ready? They're a maverick. I love that. They're a misfit, a maverick. Okay, they're also a loner. I love that one. This is actually probably my favorite. They're dropouts. Okay, everyone always judges the dropouts, but I think you should align yourself with the dropouts. This is a good one too. They're nonconformists.
Yes, we are.
Right? This is so good. Whoever's taking notes in the comments and chat section, you rock. And oddball, that's a good one. And then this is the bad one, sociopath. But you know what?
I haven't killed anyone yet. But
yeah, exactly. But the funny thing is take all of those with a grain of salt, right? You think about those perspectives from the way the brain works, not the image of who these people are, but the way the brain works. And the way that the brain works is honestly and truthfully an evaluation of the type of people that we forget, who turn the tables, who push the needle in markets and really raise the higher vibration of thinking. These are the people who are involved in economics. These are the kinds of people who run our governments. These are the kinds of people who, when truly given the opportunities to enhance their capabilities, these are the people who lead billions and billions of dollars worth of transactions and organizations all over the world. If you guys ever watched the movie based on how Mark Zuckerberg got his start, I mean, these guys, the founders of Facebook, had to, these were the weirdest, nerdiest kids I've ever seen. But yet, they were normal, but they were thinking bigger, outside the box, so much. So it was great. So anyway, that was a long answer to your question, but
it was so good. Well, and another I was just thinking of, so we might have to think of something else, but innovative. Whenever I think of someone outside of the box, I think there's innovation that goes along with that, because they have desires, they have an imagination, they have big dreams, and they're not afraid to go out and work to get it, you know, and man, we have some amazing people, and so it's great to be one of them. There was something that you spoke about yesterday at the Global Mastermind Masterclass, and that was the 4 irrefutable, did I say that right? Laws of peak performance, high performance. I can't remember what you said, but it's a really big performance. Right? Tell everyone what it is.
Yeah, I mean, over the years, having been a coach, having been a mentor, having been an entrepreneur, I've learned that there are various stations and levels and channels to the process of progress and success. And number one is that you've got to have integrity with yourself. Like, people always think extroverted or extrinsically about the word integrity, because everyone defines integrity as what you do when no one's looking. Why is it about them? Why is integrity about who's looking and who's not? Integrity is what you should be doing when you're looking, when you're present, when you're, committed to yourself. Integritous people are the people who keep their commitments. When they say they're going to do something, they do it, and they won't stop until they do. That's my definition of integrity. So when it comes down to, achieving high performance, to overcoming obstacles, you first have to have a relationship with yourself. And if you can start there, I mean, I highly recommend just starting with Think and Grow Rich, because it'll squeeze everything out of you, and bypass the needing for most therapies and so forth. But you need to have integrity with yourself. That's my definition of accountability, is integrity. And when you think of it that way, you're like, oh, I guess, my New Year's resolutions that I say I'm going to do, and then I end up dismissing by the 8th January, that's tough, right? Have integrity with yourself. And then I won't share all the laws right here on the stage, but I will share at another time in another place that there is several levels and enhancements to the laws of high performance, and you can add these to your life. But the one thing I'll share is that there is a combination, a cheat code, a hack, something that will literally swoop in and take the dinner and the cake and win it all for you. And there's an activity, there's an environment, there's a solution to basically accelerating all your successes and achieving your goals at faster rates. And it's through the power of a mastermind. It's the mastermind methodologies. And I always go back to chapter 10 in Think and Grow Rich, which is the mastermind methodologies, the mastering the mind and how to build one. And I highly recommend, because of our experience, because of who we are, what we've been doing, how much I've studied and participated and facilitated masterminds over the last 10 years, it is vital to the success of all people. And when you find yourself in an environment of trustworthy people, all of a sudden this caveman truly and will fulfill a lot of the evolution process that goes into the entrepreneurial life.
Dang, I had something. It left for a minute. Oh, mastermind methodologies. So I've read that you are the youngest master of the mastermind methodology. You just said 10 years. So what was it? Think and Grow Rich? That was the one thing that you're like, okay, this is my thing.
Yeah. So 10 years from now was 2012. And I was training to become an Olympic athlete. I was focused on my athletic career. My dreams were gold medal or bust, right? And as I was training for the Olympics, I quickly realized that the capacity of my brain power to do what I have accomplished on the track and on the field was phenomenal. And I thought to myself, I really love the sport, but I think I'd love some of these other dreams and aspirations more at this moment. And so I literally left my spikes on the track, and walked off and went straight to the door of entrepreneurship. And as you mentioned, that I've dabbled in group progress, group coaching, group fulfillment. I've been studying the Alcoholics Anonymous organization. I've been looking for at organizations that work with people in group settings. I've been studying conferences and summits and large meetings all over the world that fill convention centers. I've been studying and looking into this, but it was during this time that I picked up for the first time Think and Grow Rich. And while I was in the middle of the process of applying what's called my desire statement, I got to chapter 10 and I realized something, that all the quotes that I resonated with most from my mentors and from some of the most amazing people out there in the personal development world were saying something very similar, which was, if you want to go anywhere and get anything in life, you got to help others get there too. And that resonated with me because here I was self-serving my body and my hopes and dreams of becoming an Olympic athlete. Whereas I realized that I also had the capacity to transmute my physical energy into serving others, knowing well in hand that the more I serve others, the faster I will achieve my goals, because anything is possible when you're helping others. It's a lot harder to go down your lonely roads as you work by yourself. And there's the African proverb that always says, if you want to go fast, go alone, because it's always, it's always there. But if you want to go far, go with others. And that became the philosophy. That became the entire thing. So yes, Think and Grow Rich changed my life. The mastermind methodology I started studying, and in 2016, I started facilitating, studying, and training in mastermind facilitation. I actually became officially certified in 2019 or 20. 2019 by the Mastermind Association, because I wanted to align with some of the top mastermind people in the world. At the time, I was younger than my 30s. I was one of the top mastermind facilitators who was getting paid, who was traveling, who was training and doing this. So yeah, the answer is I still am today one of the youngest mastermind facilitators in the world. And if someone in their 20s jumps in and becomes certified and starts doing it, then great. I lose that distinction, but I am one of the youngest, and I've spent more than 7,500 hours facilitating, training, and participating in masterminds. So if we look back at Malcolm Gladwell's book on outliers, and you tidy up all the hours that go into making some of the world's best leaders, you know that they have a minimum of 10 hours of creating that expert training in that space. So that's what I've accomplished over the last decade, but more impressively has been over the last 6 years.
So how much money has passed through hands due to your mastermind methodologies group?
Great question. And thank you for asking that. In the process of developing, my understanding and the outcomes that come from masterminds, I've held a lot of events. I've hosted a lot of free events. I've been involved in a lot of stuff. And there was an event in Salt Lake City that we were running called the Profit Mastermind. And the Profit Mastermind was a come one, come all event. And what we would do is we would lead people in a series of activities. We would have them connect, and then we would sit down and facilitate mastermind groups. And in these groups, I started reaching out to the individuals, and I learned that, by tidying up and tallying up the successes that a lot of people were getting from these little activities that we were doing. We're playing games, we're having competitions, but we were also networking and connecting. And I tallied it up in 2019. After 7 or 8 months of running these events, we had helped facilitate the transaction of over $20 million in the room. And the best part about that, honestly, is that I wasn't even a part of any of that. Like I didn't, $20 million or a fraction of it wasn't in my wallet. It wasn't in my pocket. It didn't make it to my bank account. And I loved that because it was the way that we conducted our meetings. It was the activities that we created. It was the environment and the people we surrounded ourselves with who caused that to happen. And obviously we live by a methodology. So sure, we're following a curriculum of sorts. And yeah, I'll take some credit, but putting people in that room and in that environment so that they can trust one another accelerates the ability to do business, the ability to build relationships. And so in 2019, we helped transact over $20 million. 2020, we have just been growing and building more and more relationships and growing our membership, which has allowed us to expand that blessing to more people.
Oh, thank you. That's just so incredible. I love hearing. That's just so good. I know that we're probably wrapping up in a little bit. Just tell everyone again how they can get a hold of you, and then tell us what's coming. What's coming up for Jon Kovach Jr.
Cool. This is awesome. You can reach me pretty much anywhere. I highly recommend going to TikTok, Facebook, or Instagram, but mostly LinkedIn as well. Most of our stuff is promoted across all the platforms. Our marketing team does a really good job at doing that for me. We have the ability to reach out to us via email here on the podcast. Obviously, you can send emails to amcircleofknowledge@gmail.com, but we actually just opened up a new email system, so you can inquire speaking gigs for me at john@jonkovachjr.com.
You want to spell it for them, John?
Yeah,
Please
and I'll put it in the
for
chat
him.
section so we can drop it at the bottom. So you can.
There you go. Just because it's not spelled. It's unique.
I forget that there are other people who misspell the word John. But this is how you may want to reach out to me. Here, I'll bring it up here.
Let me tell you, you do want to reach out to him.
You definitely want to connect, but the thing is, I want you to realize is that we are everywhere. We are omnipresent, and whether it's Robin or myself, you can reach us, and you'll find it. I'm blanking. What was your second question?
What's coming up next for you?
Oh, that's right.
You have just a couple things on your plate. Getting me dinner.
You know what? People ask me, and they're all surprised. Like I remember sitting at Christmas dinner, and the family was going around the table talking about the things they're looking forward to the new year, and I started bringing up the things I was involved in, and I remember just like looking up at my family, and everyone had kind of stopped eating. They're all kind of sitting there holding their fork, and they're like looking at me with blank stares. And I realized why. It was because, one of them was like, we're finishing up med school. We're finishing up, I don't know what we're doing now. We're doing everything that we are doing, which is a few short things. But for me, it was like a really long list, and they were just kind of dumbfounded, like, how can you fit it all in? And the answer is ADHD. Now, the real answer is obsessions. It really is. So what's coming down the pipeline is, Champion Circle membership is growing. We're actually expanding outside of the state of Utah, working our way up towards Boise, Idaho, down towards Boulder, Colorado, Austin, Texas, and then anyone else willing to take on the leadership of launching their own chapter in their area. It does come with amazing benefits. It's a wonderful experience.
We're working on a virtual one. There's going to be a virtual one too, right?
Yeah, exactly. We abandoned the virtual platform during the pandemic because we were so headstrong about moving the world forward. We didn't want to hide. We wanted to meet in person and do so safely with masks and everything. So we did, but that's that. We also have just a lot going on. I know that we've got some pretty incredible things moving forward for us on the speaker level. Being asked to speak on various stages is amazing. I am connected to the Habitude Warrior and Global Speakers Mastermind, and so we have growth there, and we're always attracting and bringing in new people there as well. We just launched, or we're relaunching, where we're continuing to grow the Public Speakers Association, owned by an awesome gentleman named Brian Wagstaff. And that's going to be exciting too, because we get to help teach, facilitate, and share the amazing resources with speakers all over the world. Man, and I feel like the list goes on and on, but we are beginning to, we missed one thing, Robin. We need to talk quickly about our curriculum and our books and our book studies this year.
Oh goodness, yes.
Because this year we're going to be reading a lot, a book a month, and so you got to get your eyes ready for an awesome library of things that you can read with us. I'm just walking behind here to grab what I call my awesome display.
It is pretty good.
I gotta flip this around though. Let me see if I can just tilt this down. Yeah, baby.
There you go. There's our library.
So obviously this is in a box, so I'm not going to give you the full, but our mastermind library from here, see my finger? Starting from the left to the right, every month we're going to be reading a book, and each one of these is part of our curriculum. But if you'd like to read with us, we'll be sharing some of the insights on the podcast every Friday. However, if you want to get in depth and talk about these, first of all, you got to join Champion Circle. So join the Champion Circle network. And then number 2 is get involved in our Facebook groups. And then number 3 is that you too will have a chance to discover some of these as we talk on our podcast, but also in some of our special training meetings, which happen behind the scenes. Starting from the left to the right, we got Think and Grow Rich, Mindset by Carol S. Dweck, The One Thing by Gary Keller. We started our second quarter of business with How to Win Friends and Influence People, followed by The 4 Agreements, which is just such a good book. The Magic of Thinking Big. And then our third quarter is all about the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. We transition into The Way We Think and the Way We Behave through Outwitting the Devil, which is, oh my gosh, my all-time favorite book, followed by a great outlier. Just kidding. The book Outliers. And then we finished our last quarter of business with Never Eat Alone, Exit Rich by Sharon Lecter, one of my great mentors and friends. And then the E-Myth, which is kind of wrapping it all up together with our understanding of our roles. And we have got a few extracurricular books too. And I'll just put these here at the front. But we've got a few friends in the business. Of course, my buddy Jeff Griffin, he's got his book I'm Possible. So you're going to want to check this out as we're going to be reading this and adding it to some of our stuff.
It's a good one too.
We've got Robin Scott. Bringing people together. This book is being launched and revised, and it's amazing. This is such a good book, and it's perfect for what we do, because it's all about bringing people together, and we that's our philosophy, and we're sticking to it. So buzz off if you're not about that.
Well, face to face, I think you and I both have the exact same opinion, theories about that. Is face to face is always better. It just is. Yeah. I even asked you, what time am I supposed to be there? We love face to face. So awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here. I have been so honored to interview you. I love that we get to talk a lot, but this has been really cool. So we might have to do it again on a different podcast, like mine or something. But
absolutely, we always trade. We always do great stuff. Let's briefly. I know we're over time, but the Yeah. So the new format is that we are moving to 3 episodes a week. Every Friday morning at 8 a.m., we're going to be jumping in, and we're going to use that hour for mastermind resources. So you're going to get a plethora of resources and ideas on how to improve and increase your ability to achieve things as an entrepreneur, as a misfit. So that's who we're attracting. And then the second hour, we have a special hour where we interview a live guest. That's what this hour is all about. And then our third hour, which we're going to jump in here in just a minute, is what we call our Friday Forum. This is a combination of stuff. We highlight the members of Champion Circle. We bring to you special guests. If we don't go live, it's because we have a special, what I call fireside chat, or even a training session for a lot of our members and a lot of our teammates on the Champion Circle squad. And so, if that doesn't create FOMO, I don't know what does. Because if you're gonna miss out, you don't want to miss out on the training that goes into building yourself into a human being that's going to accelerate all their successes. It's just not something you want to miss out on. So that's where we're at, and that's where we're headed, and that's where we're going. And you know what? Try to stop us if you can, but if you
you won't be able to.
You won't be able to. And when you can't beat us, just join us.
Exactly. This, I say it all the time, but the way the world is going to be changed is if we do it together. That's how we change this world. And I am just so grateful that 4 years ago, you were my accountability partner.
That's right. We didn't get to 4 years
ago. We'll tell our story another time. It's a good one. But cool. Thanks again, Jon, and everyone who's out there. Man, I wish I could just say give it up for him, but I'm going to do a power clap. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. So thank you so much for letting me interview you.
Thank you. And please, the invitation is open, obviously, to all of our team members, all of our executive team members as well. Please come on the podcast as often as possible. We have awesome conversations. Next week, we've got a really great lineup of amazing speakers and people who are involved in our groups and our environments. And I always seem to reach out to people who I see on social media or I see in the news, and I'm like, that is fascinating. I bet what they have to say could help so many people. And I contact them, and somehow, some way, I usually get them. So, so next week we have a really great speaker. I'll let that sink in. So, but thank you for interviewing me. Thank you for the time to do so. And again, the invitation is come back to the podcast as often as possible. Robin, when you launch your podcast, let us know so we can promote it here.
I will for sure.
And above all else, you guys, please give us a call, contact me on social media. We're launching Champion Circle groups all over the country. It is a membership-based organization, so there are some finances and just some dues that you have to pay, but they are definitely not, how do I say this? They're not going to break the bank. They are competitive, and they're also some of the best prices for what you get. I can't believe we charge what we charge, because the first time I ever joined a networking group or a mastermind was so much more, and I had to fight to stay in. And I tell that story a lot too, but we've made it super competitive and available for everybody. So come check us out. Please send us a DM, and we're looking forward to it. Whoever's been rocking the chat section in the live, thank you. For some reason, we cannot see who it is, and I think it's because it's our private Facebook group. If we can change the settings, we will. But whoever this individual is, Facebook user, you rock. So thank you for your participation. That's awesome. Robin and I are going to hop backstage, have some lobster fries and some queso dip, and chill back in the VIP section before the next part of the show. But thank you for interviewing me. Thank you for this. This was so fun.
You're welcome. You're welcome, my friend. Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, shout out to all of our members, and shout out to all of our team members out there. We love you. And you can find this podcast anywhere on where you listen to your podcasts. Mostly we recommend listening to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, directly through the Anchor app if you'd like, and so much more. But we're everywhere. So come check us out. Please hit a subscribe so that we can continue to do this and provide this information and to keep this going. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right, this is the part of the show where Jon hits the fancy button and says, "Goodbye, everybody." But wait, wait for it. All right. Well, Robin, you're a blessing. Thank you so much. And this was a lot of fun. I can't wait to do it again.
Thank you. Me too. Soon.
See you later.